Yesterday I said that unfortunately, due to my inattentiveness, I missed one important day during Kartik. 12th October was the disappearance day of one dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So I want to read his glories today, but it will be together with his father because the story is connected. So first I will read about his father. Raised as the eldest of 5 sons of Sri Pran Krishna Ghosh, a rigid Vaishnava from the remote village of Amalajora, Burdwan district, Sri Lalit Lal Ghosh never in his life touched meat, fish, tobacco, or any such dirty thing. In the beginning, Lalit followed his father in practicing Vaishnav Dharma, but never received clear instruction in Shuddha Bhakti. Considering the ingloriousness of what was then passing as Hinduism, of which he considered Vaishnava Dharma a mere branch, and being partly put off by what he considered idolatry, he adopted Brahmo Dharma after hearing a lecture extolling it. His father never commented on Lalit's religious choice, yet was obviously pained by it, discerning which Lalit also felt pain. This Brahmo Dharma is one like impersonalist philosophy, and they don't accept the worship of deity. So his father was a Vaishnava, but son came to this. Lalit Babu's mind, means son, changed in 1880 when Srila Jagannath Das Babaji and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur performed night-long Sankirtan one Ekadashi in Amla-Jora and established a Prapan ashram there. About this Ekadashi you will find in the biography of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. How whole night they were doing, and in the morning also Nagar Sankirtan, and Jagannath Das Babaji was completely in ecstasy, and that ecstasy also influenced all others there. Impressed by the preaching and behavior of these Vaishnava saints, he started reading Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books and soon became convinced to re-enter the Vaishnava fold, this time with meaningful guidance and conviction based on understanding the position of Shuddha, pure Vaishnava Dharma, in comparison to ordinary Hinduism and the despicable antics of Prakrita Sahajas. Thinking how to mitigate his offenses to his sire, he composed Sri Sri Mahaprabhu Smaran Mangal Stotram, a Bengali work inspired by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sanskrit Sri Sri Gauranga Smaran Mangal Stotram, and presented it to his father. This book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur also contains what we now have in English, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life and precepts. That is one part of this Sanskrit book. So based on that, by that inspiration, this Lalit also wrote Bengali similar. After many years of committed bhajan at home, in 1912, at age 68, Lalit Babu set out on a first pilgrimage of his life. The following year, the transcendental opulence of Srivas Angan in Mayapur, place of Srila Thakur, was revealed to him in a dream, along with an order to inaugurate and undertake service there. Accordingly, he journeyed to Sri Dham Mayapur, bringing his wife and several other family members, but he was in for a shock. He wrote, "My heart became pierced upon seeing the dilapidation of Srivas Angan, which is not different from the Rasa Stali of Vrindavan, where Krishna is doing Ras Lila in Vrindavan. Srivas Angan is same place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his associates is doing Kirtan. Even today, the eternal Kirtan Lila of Srimad Mahaprabhu continues there, which the demigods come to see and hear. Yet now it is run down and simply a place where animals evacuate. What could be worse than this?" After taking his relatives back home, he swiftly returned alone to Mayapur, gave money to Paramananda Prabhu. He is one of the first disciples of Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Even before he took sannyas, and this was also during the time of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Already Prabhupada had some few disciples. On the order of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave initiations to them. So one of them was Paramananda Prabhu. So he gave money to Paramananda Prabhu to erect an enclosure around Srivas Angan, and again went home. But he knew that he would never find peace as long as Srivas Angan was not properly served, and thus resolved to dedicate his remaining days to executing the dream order. He began weekly devotional meeting in his village, but there were few attendees, those two mostly illiterates. Day and night he wondered what he could do to uplift the condition of Srivas Angan. Then in a dream he heard, "Write on Gaur Lila, contemplate Gaur Lila, and glorify and propagate Gaur Lila. Then the desire in your heart will be fulfilled." Lalit Babu happily accepted this order, but considering that he would not become fully purified if he remained in household life, he decided to quit it. He sensed an overpowering sentiment pulling him to Srivas Angan. Thus, he resolved to go to Mayapur, worship Mahaprabhu there, and pray to him for restoring Srivas Angan. By correspondence, he informed Sri Siddhanta Saraswati, that time he was not yet sannyasi. Parshabhana Videta Das was his Diksha name, and astrologers, they gave him this name, Sri Siddhanta Saraswati. He informed Sri Siddhanta Saraswati of his plan and received the reply, "Come to Mayapur and perform bhajan. Your innermost wishes will be realized." Consequently, Lalit Babu, now 70, took up residence and bhajan at the Yoga Pit, meditating on three great aspirations: to restore Srivas Angan, excavate Gaur Kunda, and revive Navadip Dham Parikrama. That Gaur Kunda is in front, means on the side of Yoga Pit. Sriman Mahaprabhu reciprocated by inspiring the Navadip Dham Pracharini Sabha to induct Lalit as a member and give him responsibility and full support for the new Sabha project of furbishing Srivas Angan. Now titled by Srila Saraswati Thakur as Shripad Bhakti Vilas Thakur. Despite failing eyesight and shaky health, he issued handbills and wrote innumerable hortatory letters to everyone he knew, urging them to contribute for this cause. By his persistence, eventually sufficient funds were raised for construction of a simple thatched roof temple at Srivas Angan. From the opening of the temple in 1913 on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's order, Sri Bhakti Vilas Thakur served the newly installed Panchatattva deities, continuing in this service until his passing in 1927, because this Srivas Angan was revealed by Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, same as Jogapit. First he revealed where is birthplace of Mahaprabhu, Jogapit, and also Srivas Angan, and he said that in Jogapit, Gauranga Mahaprabhu together with Vishnu Priya and Lakshmi Priya should be served in deity, and also Nimai and Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata. And for Srivas Angan, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ordered Pancha Tattva should be installed there. So they were installed and he was the Pujari there. Accepting Kshetra Sannyas, he never left Srivas Angan, not even for a day, nor even ever expressed a desire to go anywhere else. By beseeching pilgrims for donations, he gradually developed a small complex of buildings and gardens there. His other two aspirations were also effected, for within his lifetime, Gaur Kunda was excavated and Navadip Dham Parikrama revived. During the final portion of his life, Shripad Bhakti Vilas Thakur wrote several books that, although not highly scholarly, conveyed Vaishnava teachings with simplicity and conviction. Some of those volumes were edited by Srila Saraswati Thakur or stalwart disciples and published by the Gauriya Math. Both of Shripad Bhakti Vilas Thakur's sons and the eldest of his three daughters were initiated by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this is the father of Maharaj who disappeared on 12th October, but it is connected. That is why I wanted to read. So Lalit Babu or Bhakti Vilas Thakur, in his family he accepted Vaishnavism, but that was not fully understood and fully practiced. Then he became impersonalist, but then by the grace of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Jagannath Das Babaji, he got pure devotion. And because of that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Mahaprabhu also, they gave him this service. And Jagannath Das Babaji, it was inspired because he had connection with them, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Jagannath Das Babaji, he got that dream and got that order. You should develop this Srivas Angan. So he did and stayed there and wrote books. So he had two sons, both became disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and the eldest of three daughters also became disciple. So now I will read about that Maharaj, who is his son, and he disappeared on 12th October. Srila Prabhupada initiated 18 sannyasis. He is one of them. Srimad Bhakti Srirup Puri Maharaj. As the younger son of Sri Bhakti Vilas Thakur, Sri Harilal Ghosh had been inducted into Shuddha Bhakti from the beginning of life. This was his family name, Harilal Ghosh. Like his father, he was rigidly austere and immersed in the writing of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Even from his childhood, it was clear that all that Harilal possessed saintly qualities. Yes, even from his childhood, it was clear to all people, that Harilal possessed saintly qualities. After Sri Bhakti Vilas Thakur left home to reside at Srivas Angan, he sent Harilal devotional books and instructive letters urging him to fully accept the path of Shuddha Bhakti. Accordingly, Harilal took initiation from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, being given the name Hridoy Chaitanya Das Adhikari. His family guru soon arrived at Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu's cottage and cursed him. That is, family gurus, generally they are for some donations like this, they are having disciples. So that is why he cursed him. How you can go to someone else? But the point is, Prabhupada is pure devotee. But Hridoy Chaitanya cared nothing, considering such a spiritually insipid person as impotent, and was confident of protection from his genuine guru. On that very day, a son of his family guru contracted cholera and soon died. So that curse could not touch him, but it was reversed to his son. Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu made his home like a mat, with a daily program of spiritual functions and preaching activities. By his influence, many persons in that area took to Shuddha Bhakti and became disciples of Srila Saraswati Thakur. In 1923, 33 years later, after Srila Jagannath Das Babaji and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had placed their lotus feet in Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu's home village of Amla Jora, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also visited in reciprocation with the devotional spirit of Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu and his compatriot god siblings. The delighted inhabitants, including some disciples of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, gave Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur a welcome befitting an acharya. He spent 2 days there in Hridoy Chaitanya's home, during which he calculated the disciples' horoscope and revealed that he would be a sincere devotee of Krishna. You know, Srila Saraswati Thakur was expert in astrology. So in this case, he calculated for his disciple, and for some others also he did. As a village doctor, content with whatever remuneration his patients offered, Hridoy Chaitanya had scanty means little money. So, to receive his Guru Maharaj's party, he took a considerable loan and fed them opulently. After meals, he jubilantly honored a morsel of remnants from each senior god brother's plate. During this visit of Gauriya Math devotees, Amla Jora was again suffused with the spirit of Shuddha Bhakti, and hence it was proposed that a mat be established at Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu's residence. Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu took permission from his Guru Maharaj to make a temple on a parcel of land in front of his house, wherein he planned to install deities of Sri Sri Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari, with the idea to gradually train his 4-year-old son, Gaur Das, and eventually entrust the service to him. A few days after obtaining consent from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he arranged for a deity of Mahaprabhu to be fashioned from Neem. Yet within a month of the deity's arriving, one evening, Bhakti Vivek Bharati Maharaj arrived without notice and forcibly took the deity to Calcutta. Just prior to this, Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu had written to his Guru Maharaj, admitting strong attachment to his son and proposing to take his family to live at Srivas Angan. Shortly thereafter, he received the reply, "It is impossible to properly serve Hari while attached to a mortal son." Who is whose son? There are innumerable Gaurdasas everywhere on earth, attempting to live in the Dham while simultaneously cultivating affection for your son and other relatives will simply disturb others and obstruct your own bhajan. These emphatic words of the Acharya threw Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu's mind into turmoil, which precipitated his cutting family ties forever and joining the mission full time. It was 1924 and he was about 31 years old. So we read in Bhagavatam that verse, Tato Dush Sangha Utsrijya, and further that verse, one who is intelligent will give up association of non-devotees and will accept association of devotees whose Harikatha, realized Harikatha, will cut one's worldly bondage. When our Gurudev prayed to Parangurudev that I'm doing meditation, but then I stop because of being afraid, how I can go on? Then Parangurudev said that time, this, you have to take association of devotees whose words, they cut through the material knots in the heart bondage. So this effect was there by getting a letter from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he gave up that attachment, wrong attachment, nothing wrong with Sanala, but our wrong vision of family members is what is wrong. Because he told, who is whose son? That Atma was existing before he was born to you. And you were also existing before and all this. So who is whose son? Why you are thinking this is my son and for my purpose? So if someone realized soul will say that will have such effect. As you heard in Bhagavatam, when that Jiva, inspired by Narad Goswami, spoke to Chitraketu Maharaj about this true knowledge, then that attachment was cut. And that is giving relief to soul. So now he joined the mat. He was fully determined to give up all attachment to, contact with, identification with, and even thought of his previous family and village home. But on the entreaties of devotees in Amla Jora and the order of his Gurudev, 3 years later he re-established the Prapanna Ashram at the very site on which it had previously been founded by Srila Jagannath Das Babaji and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu added a temple. Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu added a temple for the worship of Mahaprabhu the same deity taken by Srimad Bharati Maharaj and again returned by him, and also Shri Shri Radha Binod Kishore. No, he did not yet come to the mat immediately, but joining the mission full time means he cut that attachment, but he established this in that village, this Prapanna ashram, and there. So Mahaprabhu did not want to come to him yet at that time. Mahaprabhu deity is Mahaprabhu himself. So he knows everything. So when he wrote letter to Prabhupada and Prabhupada replied, that time he had that attachment, so that Bharati Maharaj took it without notice. And then when it was settled, then again Mahaprabhu was brought there, because we should not serve Krishna, Mahaprabhu, with some other purposes. Then that will not be good. In September 1928, Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu was invested into sannyas and named Tridandi Swami Srimad Bhakti Srirup Puri Maharaj. His resolve to forswear all contact with his former family endured to the extent that when he was petitioned to sign documents and fulfill other requisites for his daughter's marriage, he flatly refused. Eventually, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati ceded to the pleas of Srirupa Puri's cousin brother and told this most stalwart sannyasi that there would be no transgression in complying with the arrangement, for he himself had approved it. If Guru approves, then it is okay. And when relatives of Srirup Puri Maharaj rushed to Mayapur upon getting news of his imminent demise, he refused to see them. Only after much pressing from other devotees did he receive his family for a few moments, yet he hardly spoke to them and did not even glance at his former wife. Renowned for his strictness and frankness, throughout his wide travels and preaching, Srirup Puri Maharaj never cared to entertain the public with flowery words meant to elicit donations or praise. Speaking in such a way to please audience so that they will give money and name and fame, that is not proper. That is not Harikatha. Harikatha means to speak truth about Krishna, his glories, for his satisfaction. Gurudev said, if you speak Harikatha and you are with the view or you are demanding money, then what kind of belief in Krishna is this? It is no belief. Krishna is the only maintainer and sustainer of everyone. Why you have to ask for money? If you are serving Krishna, will he not maintain you? Why you have to ask? It means you have no actual faith in Krishna. That is not actually Harikatha then. It is about money only. He lived by the principle that rigid adherence to the tenets of Shuddha Bhakti must precede its propagation, and had firm faith that all auspiciousness would come by simply adhering to and repeating the words heard from his Guru. Here also I remembered once Parang Gurudev told to our Gurudev, we got one land in Vrindavan, so we need to collect donations to build temple there. So Gurudev went to one place and there was one lady there, fat lady, and Gurudev explained, we are coming from Chaitanya Gauriya Math, we got that land, so you please contribute something for that temple. And then he explained what is the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that lady in between, sometimes she was smiling, like this. Then after Gurudev finished, then she said, yes, that is okay. Hate means difference for the time being, in the beginning, for low class sadhakas. But ultimately there is no bhed. It is abhed. All jivas, they are Brahma, they are Supreme Spirit. There is no difference. She was a Mayavadi. Then Gurudev again explained about the simultaneous difference and non-difference, and about eternal devotion. Again, she would not accept. Then she loudly proclaimed, Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Mayavadis, they say this. Only Brahman is truth. This world is false. It does not exist. It is illusion. It does not exist. Then Gurudev saw that she is not ready to understand because no Sukriti. Then Gurudev just said, okay, you are saying Brahman is truth. This world is false. So are you in this world? You are in this world. So if this world is false, you are also false. Your statements are also false. Why I will hear your statements? And Gurudev was about to leave. Then that one brahmachari who was with him said, don't speak like this, then we will not get donation. Then Gurudev said, no, I am not thinking about donation. Krishna will give. The point is, we should not speak to please people to get donation, or to please people to get more followers, or any of these things. Our purpose is service of Krishna. He will provide everything what is necessary. We have to do our duty. So Gurudev refused, no. And they left. So here this Maharaj also, when he was speaking Harikatha, he was not calculating what to speak, how to speak to get something. Our target should be correct. Target is satisfaction of Krishna, that we can get by the grace of pure devotee, that inclination. So, and also this is also same. Our Gurudev whole life, you can see, he followed that instruction of his Gurudev, that you should speak what you have heard from your Gurudev, from Vaishnavas, and from authentic scriptures, Shastra, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. That is your devotional practice. You should not speak to satisfy the audience, but this is your devotional practice to purify your mind and to get exclusive devotion. So Gurudev's whole life was doing this. I saw him. Even when Acharya, I was sitting near him, I saw this. Really, he was never thinking, I am Guru, I am on top, sitting on stage, I am teacher, you are disciples, never. Because there is no taste, actual taste in this. Taste is in the service of Krishna. We have to serve Krishna, not to have vanity. I am Guru, I am teacher, I will get name and fame, I will get money, these things. They have a real taste of serving Krishna. That is why they are not seeing like that. They themselves engage in the service of Krishna, and on the order of their Guru, they do this service to engage others in the service of Krishna. as a disciple of Guru, not as, yes, I had Guru, now I'm Guru. If you think like that, now I'm Guru, I'm independent, I'm perfect, you are totally cut from spiritual current, totally. Then you will fall down. So we are always disciples. Even when we have to serve as gurus, we are disciples of our Gurudev. We are serving him. So he repeated the words heard from his Guru. Irrespective of time, place, or circumstance, he would immediately and strongly rebuke any statement contrary to Shastra or Siddhanta. Even when in 1934 he was called to speak in the court of the Maharaj of Vadagara, Orissa, he stuck to his principle and did not mince words. This attitude was noted and appreciated by Srila Saraswati Thakur. Means his target is really satisfaction of Krishna, not anything else. Krishna is maintainer, Krishna will protect. Krishna is maintaining innumerable living entities in all this universe, and he will not maintain one who took shelter of him and he's serving him. Gurudev said, even one very bad person in this world, conditioned soul, if you go to his house and you take his shelter and you start serving him whatever is necessary in his house, and you never demand anything from him, even that person's heart will melt within a few days. After a few days, he will be unable to eat his own meal. He will think, I should give him also something. And he needs cloth and all this. A bad person of this world conditioned soul, if you take shelter like this. And Krishna, he will not take care of his surrendered, who took shelter of him. He will not maintain. What kind of belief is this? Gurudev said, better we die than not have to have such disbelief. Better to die. No faith in Krishna, actually. Yet, Srirup Puri's general behavior was so simple and guileless that all who came in contact with him, whether sinful or pious, became charmed. Not caring for food, shelter, or material possessions, and sleeping little, he constantly performed kirtan. He maintained a vow to not eat or take even a drop of water before chanting 1,00,000 of names. Disregarding the advice of God brothers that according to the principle of Jukta Vairagya, such rigorism was unnecessary. This depends on the qualification of a person. Not all are on same level, so everyone has to follow according to his qualification. For him it was okay, but it is not for all. Like Krishna Das Babaji, you know, like this. So for them it is okay. Even when his body was broken by age and wrecked by multiple diseases, he uncomplainingly accepted his condition as Krishna's mercy and strove to increase rather than curtail his devotional practices. This is realized soul. They feel the necessity of serving Krishna. For that they are ready to sacrifice anything. They are not thinking about their body. They are thinking, I have to serve Krishna. But not all are on that level and they cannot imitate. Have to follow according to one's qualification. But those who are like that, like Haridas Thakur and pure devotees, they really are ready. And really, Haridas Thakur, if you cut my body to pieces, I will never give up chanting Harinam. Never. Krishna is eternal, I am eternal, I am his eternal servant. I will always serve him. Atma is serving him. If you cut my body, that I will not stop. I will go on. Why I will stop? So they are established in that eternal devotion. They can do. But if we are not, we have to follow according to our capacity as much as we can. And this. So he increased. He was sick, but he increased his burden. But that did not harm him. It would harm us if we try to imitate. But he was not harmed because he was already on transcendental platform. If we get some physical and these problems, then we are so much disturbed that we are unable to do any kind of bhajan or be attentive. So for us, that is necessary. But for them, they may die, they don't care. Their necessity, they feel is service of Krishna. Srimad Srirup Puri Goswami Maharaj also wrote for the Gauriya, that is magazine, including a series of touching articles with titles such as Amar Desh Brahman Kam, that is my wanderlust, and Amar Durdeba, my misfortune, in which he examined various anarthas by discussing his own position, declaring himself possessed of each. Similar way, our Parangurde wrote that, Amar Bhajan. For some time, he was Mat Rakshak at Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mat, the Gauriya Mat branch in Sri Vrindavan. After many years of intense Hari Seva, diseased and aware of his imminent disappearance from this plane, on his Guru Maharaja's order, Srila Srirup Puri Goswami Maharaj took refuge of Srivas Angan, the place of his father's bhajan and final abode. He lay on his bed fasting and listening as devotees recited the entire Chaitanya Bhagavat. He remained in clear consciousness, absorbed in hearing until the entire book was read, and devotees had begun to recite Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, at which point he departed this world. It was 1st November 1936, just 2 months before his own Gurudev passed away. Srila Saraswati Thakur confirmed what all who knew Srimad Srirup Puri Goswami Maharaj intuitively understood. He was a Jivan Mukta, means one who attained liberation while in this body, means he is a pure devotee on transcendental platform, staying in this world, but pure devotee. So surely he is going back home, back to Godhead, after giving up this body that is sadhan siddha. Srimad Bhakti Srirup Puri Maharaj's Samadhi at Srivas Angan adjoins that of his father. So father we heard before in Srivas Angan, and son also, both Samadhis there. So see how from child he was devoted and fully, and he got that. So on 12th October in Kartik this year he disappeared, but unfortunately I missed due to my own inattentiveness. So I read today to hear his glory and to pray for his causeless mercy. I am bowing down and praying his causeless mercy and also his father's causeless mercy. They are not ordinary, they are real devotees. And we are observing Damodar Vrata or Kartik Vrata or Urja Vrata or Niyam Seva Vrata. In a regulated manner we have to do. So we heard now Narad Goswami speaking when he saw the situation of Nala Kuber and Manigriv. that while living, one may be proud of one's body, thinking oneself a very big man, minister, president, or even demigod. But whatever one may be, after death, this body will turn either into worms, into stool, or into ashes. If one kills poor animals to satisfy the temporary whims of this body, one does not know that he will suffer in his next birth. For such a sinful miscreant must go to hell and suffer the results of his actions. We heard that Ram Goti Prabhu, he was disciple of Prabhupada. He, by the pressure of his family members, he lost his devotional practice, and also he started to take fish again. Then at the time of death, that Yamadutas, means first fish, they came to eat him. When he was dying, he got that vision. They were eating, and he could recognize they are the same fishes as he ate them before. Then Yamadutas came, and they told to those fishes, no, not yet, not yet. First we will take him to that tree and we will tie him, then you can eat him in peace. Then they start to drag him with the ropes on the ground where there were sharp stones. And he was in immense pain. He said, no, I can walk to that place. Why you're dragging? No, like this. So much suffering. Then, because of previous devotional practice, that moment came to him and he shouted, Gurudev, Prabhupada, Krishna Baladev, because he was doing Brajamandal Parikrama one time with Prabhupada, Krishna Baladev. So from core of heart he was chanting like a Jamil when seeing them. Then that vision was broken. Then that was removed, and suddenly he again became alive and healthy. And then he was totally different. Then he said to his family members, you are all my enemies. Where is my Tulsi Mala for around my neck? Where is my Japa Mala? I will chant Harinam. No one should say anything. And also, in this house, there will be Vaishnav Seva. Vaishnavas will come. They will do Kirtan, Harikatha, Prasad. I will give everything. No one should say anything. So no one could do anything because he was already dead, and he again became alive. All thought he is a ghost. He said, no, I'm not a ghost. And then he explained what happened to him, and he was rescued by his Gurudev. So we should be careful. There will be reaction to our actions. Those who are killing animals, they will have to suffer. Deha Kim Annada. So he was rescued, but those who have no Sukriti, no past devotion, then they will have to get that suffering. Deha Kim Onno Datu Sam Nishektur Matur Evacha Matuh Pitur Va Balina Kretur Agne Shunopiva. While alive, does this body belong to its employer, to the self, to the father, the mother, or the mother's father, that is grandfather? Does it belong to the person who takes it away by force, to the slave master who purchased it, or to the sons who burn it in the fire? Or if the body is not burned, does it belong to the dogs that eat it? Among the many possible claimants, who is the rightful claimant? Not to ascertain this, but instead to maintain the body by sinful activities is not good. We have to think, but we need sadhu sangha. They will make us think. Evam sadharanam deham avyakta prabhavapyayam ko vidvan atma satkritva hanti jantun rite sataha. This body, after all, is produced by the unmanifested nature, Prakriti, and again annihilated and merged in the natural elements. Therefore, it is the common property of everyone. I am not proprietor, they are not, it's common. It belongs to Prakriti. Prakriti belongs to Krishna. Under the circumstances, who but a rascal claims this property as his own, and while maintaining it, commits such sinful activities as killing animals just to satisfy his whims? Unless one is a rascal, one cannot commit such sinful activities. 2 times in the same verse. A rascal. Asata Shri Madan Dhasya Daridriyam Param Anjanam Atma Pamyena Bhutani Daridrah Paramikshate. Atheistic fools and rascals who are very much proud of wealth fail to see things as they are. Therefore, returning them to poverty is the proper ointment for their eyes, so they may see things as they are. At least a poverty-stricken man can realize how painful poverty is, and therefore he will not want others to be in a painful condition like his own. Tomorrow we'll continue. And this is a nice commentary by Srila Sai Maharaj here. Tomorrow is Gopashtami day, and also 3 Vaishnavas' disappearance. So we'll hear about their glories, and also this Bhagavatam.